amba nezulungane asikungane tikati tipedzera muzunge mwana ndora kushungurudza kuti musvike panguva ino mwana aifungira kuti mbuya ndo vari kumuroya handizvo sekuru kanengo vakatsanangura mbuya havasi kuabata pauroya ende mbuya uroya havanai saka amene muzukuru
saka amai simbirai kwambuya vanyatsogara amene ndati mugari makanyatsotarisana sekuru makazimbira musana musana yana bvudzi jena inenge yanetai ndikuri ambuya ndoti vagara vakazimbira so
munoti kudini mashoko aipomedzwa mbuya kuti mbuya varoyi
sekuru aipomera kuti ambuya varoyi
musikana
alright ayodzana mukomana uri right
mukomana musikana
musikana oh zita ndiani tanaka
furando ndiani ndiani
ndikukupa jenda isiri yavo handiri sorry ndirakunzwa kuti chii chakatanga kuitika muupenyu hwako ende chakazosvika pakuti kuti ambuya vako ndo vari kukuroya ndambuya ezin amai vamai chii chakaitika kuti uzoti hano ambuya vari kundiroya
inini pesa pana asingambofungire pane pandakazosimuka one day ndikaenda kumatare euboko kwanandiri ndobva nasikatongozochonzi matare chini
waigara kupi
ndaigara kuuk
nanhasi wakugara
uko ndogareko ndobva ndaenda kumatare pandikaenda kumatare hanzi chimbomira kutaura china mbuya wako ndakaudzwa
matareko
saka inini pandakazonzi chimbomira ita sei kudaro uko ndakaregera kutaura nagogo nekuti chi ndandatora mashoma
but chakaita kuti uende kudare chii
nekuti ndine dzandoti hama dzidzo dzakatiendesa nekuti nachitambura mukati meupenyu wangu mabasa ngazingabatike zvanechida kuita zvanga zvingabudiriri ende ndinoona machingorwara zvandisinganzwisisi kuenda kuchipatara vanoona kuti ndikurwara asazive kuti chii chikundikanganisa nokuti vanenge vatora mablood test vatora max-rays vatora zvese kana washaya izvozvo wanga kuti hanzi zviri mupfungwa mako saka uri kupenga saka zvese zvaindishungurudza ende ndaingoona kunge ndikurambwa nehama dzekuamai vangu dzekobaba vangu dzandisingandidewo futi saka ndasitomboona kana munhu iwo wakandiendesa matara ndovandaitoti hama dzangu nekuti ndovandichengeta vechindibatsira panyaya yemari kana ndisina kudya kana ndikapinda muchipatara ndandisina hama iyoyo yazondiona kana hama yangu wairamba yazondiona iwo vaiuya ndisingagoni kana kumbosimuka pamubhedhe kana ita sei ndisingagoni kuzvibatsira vaiuya kuzondigezesa vachiuya kuzondipa chikafu saka ndiwa ndakabatirira kuti chii ihama dzangu saka pavanga vakutauraka ndenda kubhilivha because chii ndikuonawo futi kuti asairira atombonakana basa neni saka maybe ndizvozvo zvikuitika zvacho saka ndikukomauvira kwacho
handiti alright amai vatana makadi ndima amai vatana ndira kuti utange kunyatsotsanangura kuti samai vatanaka dambudziko remwana wenyu rakatanga sei kuzosvika mwana azonzi aendeswa kumatare ni zvakazobuda kumatare
inini zvekumatare kwanoenda handisana bhukuendawo enda handitombozivi angoti pane pakutanga patakatanga chaipo ane 18-19 years akatanga kungomwa overdose every week atimwa overdose uzopedzera muhospital
overdose matablets
achiri overdose
aizvi overdose as to cure the disease or overdose as to commit suicide
commit suicide because handipeda kufa zvangu nakuti upenyu hwacho haasi kumuona uri right she just thought she wanted to die. That's all she wanted. So every week she used to take overdose every week, and then after because I had another son who was born disabled, and he was in hospital at the time when she was starting to do this kind of stuff, and he was in hospital for like 7 months before he came out of hospital. So she was in hospital as well. So she was in hospital in another side, and my son was in the hospital in another side.
Yeah.
So when he came back, it was too hard for me to control because my son, I had to feed him through the tubes. I had to feed him through the tubes, through the nose, because he had an operation. At the second day, when he was born, he was blocked. His throat was blocked. So it was hard for me to go and see her and go and carry on with the other son, with my son. So I thought, because she was doing all these things and trying to kill herself, I couldn't be able to help her, since I've got another son as well. So I had to let her stay in hospital so that she can find people to help her, because there you can find mental health people, because when you are doing something like she was doing, they don't think it's normal. They think it's maybe because maybe there's something wrong with her. So that's why she had to stay in hospital, for her to be supported by the hospital, the mental health people, and then after they took her to the mental health place for her to stay there. She stayed there about 3-4 months, and then they suddenly found her a place. And then she came out, and then she was staying there alone. And me and her, we were not getting on. We never really get on, because she feels like I don't care about her, because I was raped by her father. So she feels like, she said, I'm a child with no love, because you were raped by my father.
You told her that information?
She always said that. She said, I'm never loved because my father raped you, and that's why I can understand that.
How did she find out that?
No,
okay, is she a result of rape?
Because I had to tell her. I had to tell her the truth.
Okay.
After when she was old enough. Because all these problems were coming when she was overdosing.
Yeah.
I tried to consult other churches and stuff like that. And they told me she need to go back home to find her father.
Okay.
And the father, I heard that the father was dead at that time. I heard the father was dead, he was no more here. But then I asked my brother to try and go on Facebook to see if we can find him, because other people were saying he's still alive, other people were saying he's dead. He was blind, he got knocked over by a bus. But then suddenly my brother found his wife. And then my brother gave me the number, and then I started communicating to the father, because he was here in Zimbabwe and we were there in UK. So then he told me, no, I'm still alive, I'm here. And I told him what's going on with Tanaka. So I need your help. They were saying that she need to go and see her family, her father, her blood father. That's where she need to go, and then they can sort her out. But since then, I sent her here. She came, that year she came here I sent her here maybe 4 or 5 times. That year, just only 1 year.
Which year is that?
I was paying everything.
Which year was this?
What year was that? It was about 2008, yeah, okay. 2008, 2009, those 2 years. So she kept on coming. She came and she went to my mother. My brother, the father of this one, was still alive. She went with her to the father, because she didn't want to go there alone, and she couldn't anyway. It was the first time to go and meet the father. So she went there and she met him, and they did what they were supposed to do. That's what we thought they did. I think the first time she went with mother, because mother is more important, so that mother would go and give her to the family, that here is your child. Because maybe he was calling his child to say, come back, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why the prophet were saying, it's because the father wants her to come back to her family. So I did that once. Mother took her there, and they did what they did. After 2 months she comes back, something is happening again. I send her back again, and she goes with the father of this one, took her there. And then after that, 2-3 months, she comes back, everything is coming back again, the same thing. Then I send her back again. About 4 times I send her in 1 year for her to try and fix this, but nothing ever really changed. Because every time she came here, she'll go right for a little bit. And when she gets back there, 1 month there, after 1 month, 2 months, then she started again, the problems coming back. And I don't know why. So that's why I had to send her here. And then the last time I had to come, because they said that I may have to come bring her to her father myself. So I had to bring her. That was the like 5th time when I brought her myself. But I've sent her here before. But nothing ever changed. The father didn't really do anything. We even tried to go to ask for help together. Even he was living in Tegutu. We invited him to my mother in Murewa to come because there was a prophet there. We thought he could help us. So we were together and we were talking about, he was talking about her, and they were asking that, you know, there was something that the prophet said. Do you know, there was something that is called like Chikwambo or something like that. There was that name that he was asking him, but he refused. He said he doesn't know that name. He's never heard that name, ever. So, and then from there, the same thing, we went back, we went back home. Then she just thought it was useless to come back to Zimbabwe because nothing was ever working anyway. So we just carried on like we were doing. She's suffering, I'm sick as well. My other son is sick as well. And now I find out they both, her, my other son, and my little one. My small one is disabled and he's autistic. But now I come to find out that they say that all my kids have mental health issues. So I don't even understand where is all these mental health issues coming from. And that's why I also came here for my illness and for her, because we don't get on. Sometimes we talk together for maybe 1-2 months, then maybe she goes and she stays by herself. I keep myself to myself. Every time she calls me, she shouts at me like, I just don't understand, what have I done wrong? I try to help her as much as I can do. Because she's 35 and I've got a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old is still disabled and autistic. And I also have problems with my health. You see, so I try to help her as much as I can. Maybe I don't go to see her, to her house, but because I can't leave the other child by themselves. Only the weekend when maybe his daddy texts him, because me and his daddy, we are not together. Because of that situation, when she says to me, because she was raped by my husband, who I was married, who took me to England. When I was raped by a father, I was at school.
I didn't hear you correctly. She was also raped.
Yeah, I got raped by her father.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay.
Their father was married with 2 children. He was a teacher. He was a headmaster.
Okay.
Let's say deputy headmaster. He used to even teach me. And one day he tricked me. He sent the head girls to come and give me the keys. He said, the teacher needs you to go and clean at his house. So I went to the house thinking I'm cleaning, because everyone, if you are sent by your teacher, you're supposed to go and do what they tell you to do. So I went cleaning, and then he just came behind my back and started doing whatever. I did not understand. He just hold my head, my mouth and stuff like that. And people were going on sports. And after he finished, he told me, don't tell anyone, you're not going for the sports. I want you to go home straight and don't tell anyone. So I went home. I couldn't tell my mother. I couldn't tell not even a friend, anyone. I couldn't. So I just kept quiet. And then I started, when I was eating with my mother, I started throwing up, and that was that. And then after my mother, she went and asked an old lady who I used to call a sister, because she didn't want to ask me herself. And then she came. The old lady came, and then she sat down with me in a quiet place, and she asked me, who did this to you? Who did you sleep with? Who did this to you? I mean, what are you talking about? Yeah, I know you are pregnant. I didn't even know myself that I was pregnant. I know you are pregnant. Your mother called me to come and talk to you because she thinks that you might be pregnant. So I said, yeah, I didn't even lose no time to say that was Magejo. The father, he was well known. This guy was well known. Everyone liked him and they respected him. But then I told her, and she didn't ask me no more questions. She just said, okay, thank you very much. And then she called my mother in. and she spoke to my mother that my mother said you must take her to the school and give her away to the teacher. So this old lady, the next day, she came and took me to the house, to the
Teacher's
school.
house.
Yeah, to the school. And then she took me there. And then we went and saw him, he was in the office. And she said, I brought your wife. And he was surprised, he said, what do you mean, my wife? Yeah, I brought her because she's pregnant. She said that you raped her. How could you do such a thing? I didn't do nothing to her. I don't know, maybe someone did that to her. So she said, okay, I'll be coming back. I will be coming back to talk to the committee members, because he was like trying to refuse. But then, because since he was a deputy headmaster, there was a bigger headmaster there. So that's like a father for him. So they called all the committee members, my uncle that died, my uncle, my mother, and all the committee members. They were all there, the headmaster, and him was there, and he was asking. The people asked me, "Are you sure it was Magejo?" I said, "Yes, he's the only person. He's the only person I ever slept with. I never slept with anyone. So I didn't really actually sleep with. He just raped me. So that's the only person I know."
How old
and
were
he
you
tried
then?
I was about 13, 14 years.
Okay.
So then he came and he tried to dodge and say, no, I don't know this. But then after, because the committee member said, this is not the first time. He just left another school called Nyamande because he made another woman pregnant.
Oh.
They transferred him to this school. And now he's done it to you. You need to fix him. Tell him, even if he tried to say whatever. But it was true that he had done what he done. So I said, and then I told him, what date this happened? And then they asked him, do you remember this date? And he said, yes, I remember. And then he accepted, he said, yeah, that's when they asked him to pay $5 or something, $5 and write on the piece of paper to say that he is agreeing that he did this. And now he was asking the committee members to take me to their house, one of them to take me to their house, so I can stay with them, so he can keep on coming there and abuse me at these other people's house. So my mother said no. My uncle said no. My uncle said he charged like $3,000. It was that, like it was all days done. He charged him. He said, I want 3,000 pounds from you, not 3,000 pounds, dollars from you. So that's for money for the nappies, money to look after her until that was for damages and everything. But he never paid a single penny. And then what happened is my sister, my big sister was in Harare. So I used to go for holidays since when I was 12. Because I didn't grow up with my family, because I grew up at my mother's side. So she came looking for my mother, and then I was happy that I found my family again. So then I used to go there and see her in Cranbourne. So I used to go there every holiday. And then there was this old man called Major Michael Mould. And then I didn't know he wanted to be with me or whatever. So he used to take me, buy me clothes, buy me things. But he was a friend of my sister. As a white man, he was working in the one commando. So he used to take me, buy me stuff and everything. But yet after that, that's when I knew I was pregnant. But I didn't want to tell anyone, and I couldn't tell my sister. But it was holiday finished, and I had to go back to school. Now I was going to go for my Form 1, and then I started going to school. But then my sister, she came to me. Was forced to come to me with because my mother must have explained to her that, you know, your sister, she's pregnant. So she quickly came and told me to pack your bags, we are going tomorrow. And I said, where are we going? Oh, I found you a job, she said. Okay, I thought, okay, she found me a job. So I went with her to Harare. And then I was supposed to be going with this old man. He was about 56. And okay, I accepted it. When he asked me, he said, you know what, then I had to tell the truth that I'm pregnant. I will be going back because I'm pregnant. I couldn't tell him at first, but I had to like go back there. And then he started sending my sister because he said, if you don't go and get her, I'm going to break all your windows. Because he gave her money one time and she didn't go. And then he gave her money 2 times and she didn't go. So the 3rd time she said, if you don't go and get her, I'm going to break your windows. Because she didn't want him to know that I was pregnant and stuff. So she was like forced to come and get me. And then she lied to me that she had a job for me. So I was happy. I'll look after my baby with this. Even if I'm going to be a house girl or anything, I can do that. So I can look after my baby by myself. I don't need him since he's married. And I don't want to go with him because I was raped. It wasn't love. Yeah. So I was happy to find a job. But I didn't know that the man really wanted to be with me. Okay. But then when he told me that your sister told me that you were pregnant and stuff like that, I don't mind. If you're pregnant, I can look after you and your baby. I was only just like 3 months pregnant then. You couldn't see it because I was just there. So he said, I can look after you and your baby until you have your child, and I can register your baby in my name. If you want, I can look after you for all the way. So I thought this is only a chance for me to live a better life. So I accepted that because there was no other way. If I went back home, where would I go? Yeah. My mom, she didn't have my father. She was all alone. And I was the only girl and the old boys at home, and I was like the older girl that time. So I accepted that, and I started going to live with him. After we went to live with him, he even had a problem with the people. Sorry. He had a problem with the people there where he was living because they said, oh, you're bringing a young girl here, this is not right, you can't do that. And he even fought with this woman. A friend of his wife. And he fought. Thank you. And he fought, and then after, but then she accepted it. So now the woman was telling me, I have my family, my people, my friends here coming to see me. So you should stay in your room. Don't come out. I don't want my friends and all that to see you here. So I said, oh, okay. So I said, if you want to go and sit in the garden. Those are more chairs, you can go there. You don't sit in the dining because I don't want people to see you. So I said, okay. So I was doing that, and then I told my sister that woman told me I shouldn't be here because of this. So, and I told him as well. And after he finished work and they fought about it, then I went and I told my sister, and then she had a problem with it, and then she said, okay, we're going to move out of here. Then we moved to Queensdale. We found another lady there who was just someone who used to be a singer sister. We started living there with her. She was a dry cleaner. Started living there with her. She was not a problem. We were all right. And then after I decided to go and live, we decided to go and have our own house in Hatfield. Then we were living in Hatfield by ourselves. And then that's when I had my daughter. I had him in the hospital in Bali there. Okay. And then because I was so young, I had him and then I cracked. And then I started bleeding and they had to move me, took me to the biggest hospital because they thought I had another baby. They wanted to do an operation for me. Okay. But then after later on, the blood stopped a bit. So they decided to move me to the women's ward with babies.
Okay. So, while is that in yours? Tanaka, how old are you?
Sorry, I'm 35 years old.
Yeah, 35. When did you left for UK?
I left when I was about 11.
When you were about 11? Okay, no, that's fine. So how has been the life in UK for you so far?
For me, the life in the UK is the only life I know. So I feel at home when I'm there. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. So, my Tanaka, I just want to fast forward a bit. Okay. When you took Tanaka to UK, as a mother, as a parent, I'm sorry I had to ask this because I have seen you are opening up and I believe it's part of the healing process. But I just wanted to find out, when did you start picking up Tanaka's unusual attributes as a mother? You could pick that what Tanaka is doing is unusual for a child.
When she was 15, I didn't know, but my husband, he already knew because she talked to him about everything.
Yeah.
So she had already told him that she's not like this. She like girls and stuff like that. But me, I didn't believe. I didn't know anything, and my husband never told me that she was like that until probably when she was 16. Until when we was 16, and then that's when I found out about it, because she used to bring a girl at home, but I thought they were just friends.
Yes.
I didn't know anything.
You didn't know she was a girlfriend?
Until there was a girl who came there, which she was fostered by another woman, because her mother or something, what happened to her mother. So she was fostered by another woman. So this woman, she used to come bring her children to our house. They played together with them, but I didn't know they were like anything like that, you know. I just thought they were friends because they used to go to school together. Then after, this lady, she came to me, and then she opened up and she told me that she saw them, and she even saw this, what you call this, you know, for ladies.
She knows. She must tell.
You know, for ladies, yeah. And then that's when she told me exactly what's been happening, and that's when I opened up and I thought, wow, so this has been going on for ages, but I didn't know myself. And then I asked her, and then she did not deny it. They were both together with the girl. They both said, yes, we've been doing this and stuff like that. And that's when I started to, and she thought that I hate her because she was this way. But I couldn't have hate her because she's still my child, and I can't choose for her what she wants to do.
Yeah.
So I accepted her like the way she is. I can't say, no, you can't be like that, you can't do this.
Yeah.
But me knowing, I want my child to be normal.
Yeah.
Like I born her as a woman. I wanted to be a mother. I wanted to have a child. I wanted to have a man of her own, to have a house of her own. I know she could be having like a family by now. But no, nothing is happening, and I can't force her to do anything, and I can't tell her if I say any word about her sexuality, it's a big problem. And so I don't talk, I don't say nothing.
Okay.
And so sometimes she always after me because you don't like me because I'm like this, you don't want me because I'm like this, you don't like your 2 children, you don't like me because I'm gay, because like this. No, it's not that. It's just because sometimes she just goes at me like I don't even know. I can't tell her anything. If I say one word, it will go. If I'm on the phone, she calls me on the phone. And that's why we ended up here. Because I can't, because she feels like she takes, you and your family don't care about me. You don't. I mean, if I don't care about you, I could have left you with your father. I could have left her with her father. Because I knew where the father was when I left at that time. But I didn't. I went there and I worked for like 6 months, and I asked my husband to send for her to come. After 6 months I left her with a man that she said he was raping her. And then she came to England after 6 months. And she was there, okay. Maybe I wasn't there all the time, but I knew she was here with me, at home, safe. You know, that's what I thought, but I didn't know that the man that I'm thinking she's safe with, he was still doing whatever he was doing. And I didn't know. Until when she turned 16, I'm cutting short. Until when she turned 16, that's when she told me. When she turned 16, that's when she told me, Mom, this is what Daddy been doing to me. This Daddy been talking rubbish to me, saying, oh, you enjoyed it when I did this to you when you were young, blah, blah, blah. When he was drunk, he was talking like that to her, but I didn't know. Because of course, yes, I was young, he was an old man. I was also going out to meet other guys, right? So I used to leave her at home thinking she's safe. So she was there, and maybe I take maybe the weekend I go away to my aunties, and I stay there maybe for the weekend. We go out together, and then I come back. Maybe Monday I'm going to work. I was never at home. I always work at that time. And then after she told me, and I said, okay, now you. I said, so why didn't you tell me? After all these years, why didn't you tell me that he was still doing what he was doing? Like I found out when it was, she was 3 something. The house girl told me that he saw my husband doing some stuff to the kids. There were like 3 of them, young, in the house. So, and then I went mad myself. He locked me outside the door, and I broke the window to go and fight with him. And I told him, why are you doing this kind of stuff? Why did you do this? And he didn't want to admit it. He did not want to admit it. But I was fighting him. So I ended up calling the police. And the police came. And we ended up at the police station. And you know what I did? I am the one who was left at the police station. And he probably have paid. He paid the policeman. And then I was left there all night. I was left there all night by myself, and he was gone. So, and then when she turned 16, from there, that's when I found this other friend of his, but he was a better friend to me too. It was me and him, we understood each other. So I thought he was better. Then when I told him about this story that happened, that's when he said, you know, you can let me have the children, because I was looking after another woman's child as well, but it wasn't even his child. From her other sister, the sister was his daughter, but the other one was not. So I thought, okay, I can take her. She was like, I took her in when she was 6 years, so that they are like nearly the same, but she's a bit older than her. So they can play together and stuff like that.
Okay, Tanak, I want to give you time to drink water and take.
Okay.
Tanak, I want to speak to you. You know, when it comes to your sexual orientation and like what your mother said, we respect that. Are we clear on that? Yeah. And I just want you to confirm to me if you are interested in women, so that I can also know how to respect you in a rightful manner.
I don't really think I have a choice here. I feel like here I have to accept what everyone else says I have to be. So
No. That's why I said I want to know from you, not from your mother. And as I've said, your sexual orientation is respected. You know, I would want to know, so that when I'm talking to you, I know the kind of a person that I'm talking to.
yeah.
Are you interested in girls?
Yes, I am.
In short, you're lesbian.
I guess, yeah.
Not you guess, Tana.
I guess that's the name they give to them. I wouldn't call myself that. I would just say I'm attracted to females. That's it. I wouldn't want to put myself in a box.
Okay, so you are not a lesbian, but you are attracted to females.
Yes.
Okay, so from what your mother is saying and your relationship with your husband,
Yeah.
is there anything that you've never told your mother? Is there anything that you've never told your mother that man did to you, that today you feel it is the right time and I need to tell you as well, so that as a family at the end of the day you come out, you know, with the results that build your relationship between you and your mother? Because you might be hurt and you're unable to say it out, and probably your relationship between you and your mother is strained because both of you are keeping a secret. You know, what is it that you feel today you want to tell your mother that man did to you?
I feel like that man took my life from me. Because even today, he took everything from me. My confidence, my love for people, my respect for people. I'm angry all the time. I didn't get a chance to experience what other females experience. I had no choice. And everywhere I lived, if it wasn't my dad touching me and raping me, it was another man.
Okay.
Or my mom's brother. And it wasn't just me, it was me and my sister, my cousin sister. I feel like my mom let me down so much, because she knew, she found out from the house girl at the age of 3 that my dad was doing that. Yes, she did fight, but she could have chose
To protect.
to protect me.
Yeah.
But she decided that the money and him looking after us was more important. That's how I see it. Even a blind person can see that.
Yeah.
And then as like, that man abused me in a way where today I find it hard to have sex. I'm in pain. I see pictures, I see videos, I hear sounds. When somebody's sitting there and they're chewing, that sound makes me feel sick. It makes me want to kill myself. Because that's what used to happen to me. I can't say everything that used to happen to me because I find it hard to talk about it. But it was hard. I was swollen half the time. And I was a kid, even when I started my period, I didn't even know that it was my period. I couldn't even tell her. My mum never used to live with us. I either used to be Kumusha, Komreo with Gogo, or I would be with that uncle. We didn't live with my mum that long. We lived with my mum for a little bit. And only because my dad wanted to abuse us. My uncle, her friend came and stepped in and saved us. But I still wasn't saved because even when I was there, I was still getting abused. And I couldn't say anything because when my dad used to rape us and everything, he used to say, I will leave your mum if you tell her.
Okay.
So us living here and not knowing anything, we're not going to say anything. We're going to keep quiet and let the abuse continue, even though it's not correct.
Yeah.
That abuse damaged my brain so much so today that no one can tell me anything because I suffered. And when my mum says some things, she doesn't say the truth. Because my mum used to drink alcohol. When I say my mum used to be drunk, my mum used to be drunk. When she said that she used to be over there and she used to leave me for the weekend, no. My mum used to leave us for 4 days. Sometimes it wasn't even the weekend. My mum would go out, drink by herself, come back home. I thank God that my mum had that last child, Lionel. He saved my life because he came out disabled. When he came out sick, mum had no choice but to stay and look after the child at home because she kept on drinking and left the child at home with us and my auntie. And then this child couldn't breathe. He used to eat through his nose. And then he used to be like, he used to turn red because he can't breathe. I can't look after that child because if that child dies, it's me or my auntie. She's gone out to drink. When she comes back days later. She abuses me physically, yeah? Shouting at me. She'll scratch me. She says, I didn't do that. But she did, I remember. I didn't drink. I remember all of this. My mum used to slap me, abuse me. She used to say to me, you bitch, you messed up my life. That's what my mother used to say to me. She used to say so much to me that I held that on top of the fact that I was raped. And then when I got older, every time I wanted to talk to her about it, she didn't want to hear about it. And then it will get to a point where I have to shout to raise my voice to get her attention. Not because I want to shout, but because I'm in pain. I need to talk to someone about this. Because if I don't talk to someone about this, one day I'm going to kill someone. You understand?
Yeah.
That's why. So now, auntie decided, okay, this child is sick. Me, I'm going to go. And I'm going to stay with... She left and she went to stay with mum's sister. Mum's sister does not get along with mum, does not get along with Gogo. She does not get along with the family because she's the one that says Gogo's a witch. So that lady went to stay with her. So mum had no choice anymore because I was not going to stay and look after that child. Plus, the boyfriend was abusive to me. So I'm not going to look after that child. I won't. And then she had no choice but to stay home and look after that child. And then the drinking stopped. Plus, she had liver damage. So she had no choice because she would either die or that kid is gonna die. So that's what stopped her from drinking. And then from drinking, I thought, oh, my life is gonna be okay. My mom is gonna, she's gonna be okay. I want a mom. I haven't had a mom. She starts smoking weed. She doesn't stay in the house. She's outside smoking spliff. Finishes the spliff, smokes cigarettes. She finishes cigarette, she goes back in, makes a spliff, she comes back outside, smokes. You can't talk to my mom. I have to smoke weed in order to talk to her.
Okay.
Because if I don't smoke, I can't handle her.
Okay.
Because the smoke and the drinks kind of like messed up my mouth, right? And I can see it. But because, you know, we come from Zimbabwe, it's like, oh, you shouldn't be like this with your mom or this and that. Guys, life is not like that. Life is hard.
Okay, Tana, just while you're cooling down, on a lighter note, I can see you've got lots of tattoos. Do they portray a certain message or what?
Every tattoo I have is a message.
It's a message. Like the big one on your left hand, what does it mean? That one, yeah.
This is where I come from.
Africa.
I'm proud to be African. And the blood that was shed. I'm proud that my ancestors fought for me. So that's why I have this. That's why I have this. And this is a Hungarian flower. It's like for good luck. My friend gave me that for free.
Okay.
So all of